Can you all hear me? Okay. Any dots before we start? No dots. Okay. So where are we? What were we discussing? What was the last object that we have created? Hello, can you all hear me? Hello.
Hello, when we are there.
Okay. Yeah. So what was the last object that we created? Did we create job classification? Yes or no?
I think we stopped at job classification.
So we stopped at job classification.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was the last job code that we create? RIL, right? So all of the job classifications we have created.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we created all of
These
them.
are the job classifications. And now the last object before hiring is position. Last object before hiring is position. Okay. Create new and position. Position is concrete and can be assigned to employee. Okay. And this position is unique for every employee. If I have 10 employees if I have 100 employees in the organization, I have to create 100 positions and assign each position to employee. Okay. And here in the position, we'll consolidate all of the values, whatever objects that we have created. So most of these objects, like we'll be adding job code, we'll be adding pay grade, company, business unit, division, department, location. So all of these would be added to position. And position code again is automated. Position code will be auto-generated. I'll just go add the position. Select the job code. So we have created our job codes, right? Choose the job code. These are the job codes. And when you select job code, system automatically propagates the data, job title, position title, then you have employee class, which is defaulted, pay grade, which is defaulted, job level, regular, temporary. Because these are all available on job code. System propagated the data from job code to position. These are updated. These details are updated from position to job code. New position code title, if you want, you can add. You can leave it blank if you don't want to maintain. Position description also, same thing. Position type, we have two types of positions, RP and SP. RP is regular position, SP is shared position. Regular position means a position assigned to one position assigned to one employee. And if you want one position to be assigned to multiple employees, if the position is to be shared among the people, then we use SP, which is shared position. RP and SP. I'll go choose RP, which is regular position. FT is full-time equivalent. If you want the employee to be a regular employee or regular position, then the FTE should be 1. That means if the company working hours says 40, this position is also for 40 hours. So employee has to work for 40 hours. Okay, on the position, we are creating the FTE with 1. Is it a mass position? No. Is it a critical position? This is for your recruitment module. If you want to maintain it as critical, you can set it as critical. Position incumbent, we don't use. This is for succession management. And parent position, every position in the organization should be reporting to some other position except the highest level position. Let's say that we have one position which is at top. Okay. Director position or CEO position, you can have without parent position, but otherwise you should maintain the parent position. So let me see what positions we have. Okay, I'll choose one position. To be hired field is important. Yes or no. If you want to use this position for hiring, to be hired should be set to yes. If you don't want, you're just creating the position for backup. You don't want to hire employee immediately. You can leave it as no. If you set it to yes, this position is available while hiring. In the hiring screens, this position will show up. And once we use this position, once we hire once we hire an employee on this position, system automatically updates the to be hired status to no, so that this position won't show up while hiring because this is already occupied. Employee class, pay grade, job level, regular, temporary, status, all of this got updated from job classification. Okay. So recruiter is a custom field, source of creation is also custom field. Can leave them blank. Organization details. Organization details, your company, business unit, division, department, location, and cost center. Now I have created my company as Reliance, right? Reliance Industries. Under this company, we have business units, 88 RLBU1. Okay. Then division, RL Division 1. Department, have corporate functions. Location, RL Bangalore. Cost center, RL regular cost center. Okay. I've chosen these details. And then matrix position, you can also maintain if this position has got any matrix manager or the HR manager or the additional manager or compensation manager, any other relationships that you want to add, you can add it here. You have all of these relationship, additional manager, custom manager, HR manager, matrix manager. These are custom manager, custom relationships, second manager, and so on. If you want, you can maintain, otherwise you can leave blank. Save. This will feed the data to job relationship. Now, a position code is created. Okay. Any doubts here? So let me quickly create a couple of positions. FT as one. Position type is RP. Parent position we have created. So I'll choose that to be hide. Yes. Company is Reliance. Okay. Let's say I want to add HR manager for this. So, okay, couple of more positions. Now, here I'll go and select the job code as RIL General Manager and position title, I'll change it to HR General Manager. Okay, this is defaulting from job code, but you can also change the text. One position type is RP, parent position. To be had, yes. So, two more positions. We'll say HR manager. RP 1 to be hired, yes. Location is real Bangalore. Parent position, I'll say this one.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Uh, I'm audible, Venu?
Yes, you are.
Yes, Venu, the use of parent position, can you please tell again the
Parent
field?
position is highest level, the next level. Let's say you are reporting to your manager, right?
Mhm.
Okay, for you, I'll have to create one position. For your manager, we should have one position. For you, the
Oh,
parent position is your manager's position.
okay.
So the manager is defaulted from the parent position. Okay, I'll show you now. This is the last position that I'll create. I'll have it as HR intern. Position type as RP, FTES1. This is not a mass position. Parent position. Okay, to be head, I want to hire. So we don't have HR here. Okay, now we have created 5 positions. Okay, and if I want to look at these positions on the org chart, I should go to org chart. Position org chart. Org chart represents the hierarchical representation of employees, but we have not hired any employees. We can go and check our positions. My position that we have created is director. Now see, RIL director is reporting to, I've maintained the parent position as this position. And we have some person on this position, Abdul Rahman. Okay, and these are my positions. RIL director, president, and president has got one direct report, general manager. General manager has got one direct report, HR manager. HR manager has got one direct report, which is HR intern. We can also create positions from position org chart. If I go to this one, you see one position below, and you can see more positions. HR intern. So HR intern is reporting to HR manager. Now, how did this form? This formed because of the parent position that we have maintained. This position is reporting to this position. This position is reporting to this position. This position reporting to president. President reporting to director. Okay. Now we see a lot of information here. Position code, position title, company of the position, and then job title, you have division, and then you have department. So we don't need all of these details. So let me make it short. You don't need these many details on position. We have org chart configuration where you can control what fields you want to see. And I just need position code and position title. This should be sufficient. I don't need company, I don't need pay grade, I don't need division, I don't need department. So all of these fields, just hide. Okay, so this is done. You see now, I only have position ID and position title. I have position ID and position title. Now, from the position org chart, we can create positions. Now, positions can be created at the same level, at this level, at this level, at this level. You can create the positions at the same level. That means selecting this position, I can go to actions and see here, add lower level position. You can create one position at lower level. You can create position at same level, and you can also copy the position. These are the three ways of creating the positions from position org chart. Now, if I go and select director, I can go to actions, add lower level position. When you click on add lower level position, it will ask me what is that level. So let me go and add RIL president. Okay, or I'll say RIL senior president. Rest of the attributes remain same. Okay, and say save. Now there is one position which is copied, which is created, RIL senior president. You see here, because we have selected director and added the lower level position, it added one position under RIL director. Now there are two positions under director. Okay. Now selecting the position, that is lower level position. Selecting the position, you can create the position at the same level. Go to same level position. Again, date, RIL general manager. I'll say sales general manager. So all the other attributes remain same, but I will go and change this to second business unit, division 2. Okay, division 3 and sales. Save. Now there is one position created at the same level of HR general manager. Now we have sales general manager. Now under general manager, we have one position which is HR manager, and under HR manager, we have interns. Now I want to copy these positions. Select action, copy. Just tell system how many positions you want. I want 4 positions. Say okay. These 4 positions got copied. Copying position is easy. Now there are 5 positions under HR manager. Okay. HR manager reporting to general manager. HR general manager. HR general manager reporting to president. Now under sales, I want lower level position. Now lower level position, you can say a real manager, we'll say sales manager. Okay, so all the other attributes remain same. For this position, I will set to be hired as no. Just to show you. Save. Okay. Now if you see, we have sales manager, this position. Okay. Sales manager position is we have created, but it is not to be head. To be head status is not showing up here. That means if you try to hire employees, this position will not show up. This position will show up because this is ready for hiring. This is ready for hiring. All the positions with to be head status yes will show up for hiring. And none of these positions are occupied. So it is not showing up any person here. Okay. Clear? On positions?
Venu, one question. For this kind of positions that you're creating, are you assuming and creating it, or do we have specific requirements for this one?
No, depending on your head count. Okay. Now each department manpower planning will be done while setting up the company. Yes or no?
Yeah.
No, you should know what all departments you'll be having and who would be leading that particular department, how many positions we need in each of those departments. So we'll have that list of positions that we are planning to have in your organization. Now these positions, now these are vacant positions now. We'll start hiring the employees onto this position. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now I have all of the positions ready. Have my positions ready. Have my objects ready. The next step is to go and hire employee. Adding an employee with all of the objects that we have created. Hiring of the employees can be done in different ways. If customer is using recruiting RCM, what will RCM module do? RCM in RCM or recruiting module, they'll look at the open positions. Recruiters will look at the open positions and they will create a requisition. So just go here and say, here you'll find requisition, create requisition option. Action, create job requisition. Okay, they'll create a requisition. Now this requisition will start showing up in the recruitment module where they'll source the candidates onto that requisition. Okay, they'll start sourcing the candidates onto that requisition. Let's say for one position, 10 people have applied, 10 candidates have applied. So they'll shortlist the candidates based on their knowledge, okay, based on their education. They'll be shortlisting some of the candidates. And some candidates will be moved to next level of interview, and the selected candidates will be offered. Okay. And if the candidate has offered, any candidate who is offered, okay, may or may not accept the offer. Right. Now, all of those candidates who has accepted the offer letter will be routed to Employee Central. Now, in this process, recruiter must have collected some information from the candidate, like name of the candidate, experience of the candidate, education details of the candidate, contact information of the candidate. So all of this information, recruiter must have already collected it, which is in recruiting module. Once the candidate accepts the offer letter, the information will flow from recruiting to EC. Recruiting to EC. Through a screen called Manage Pending Hire. Once the candidate accepts the offer letter, candidate lands up in Manage Pending Hire screen. Okay. From where EC will pick the candidate and hire the employee or add the employee to the system. So this is one way of hiring the candidates. And some customers will have, along with RCM, they'll also have onboarding module. From the RCM, the candidate information is flown to onboarding. Once candidate accepts the offer letter, candidate will be given a link to update their information. here in RCM, recruiter has collected some information. This is only 50%. 50% of the data, what is required for hiring. Onboarding, you'll get 90% of the information. All of the information that is required for hiring will be available in onboarding. Is that candidate will be updating that information. So candidate will be given a link where they will log in. They'll update all the information, all the necessary information, contact, address, your education details, previous experiences, national ID information, personal information. They'll add all of the details. And this candidate will be available in Manage Pending Hire screen. And the third way of doing the hiring is through EC, Employee Center. And here, if customer is not using any RCM or onboarding, we directly go to add new employee. Add new employee. Here we have to manually add because we don't have RCM or onboarding modules. So we need to add all of the information manually here. Okay. Now, from Manage Pending Hire also, the candidate information will flow to add new employee screen. Manage Pending Hire screen, information will be flown to add new employee only. But here the data is automated. Data is populated automatically from recruiting or onboarding module. And the fourth way of hiring is bulk hiring. If you have hundreds of employees, very difficult to manage employees manually. So you can import employee data. You can use import employee data. Sorry. Okay. So let's go first and see Manage Pending Hire screen. Manage Pending Hire. You see recruiting, it says 0 candidates. If there are any candidates who are in pipeline or who are in recruiting stage, so you will see them here, recruiting, you'll see the number, it is showing 0. Onboarding also, onboarding you have 22 candidates. You go to onboarding, there are 22 candidates here. From here, you click on the candidate, it takes you to this candidate information will be flown to add new employee screen. Okay. If the fields are mapped properly, all of the information would be updated. Your hire date, company, event reason. So all of these details would be updated. Okay. Now we'll use add new employee. You go to add new employee. Add new employee basically contains 4 sections. First one is identity details, personal information, job information, and comp information. Once you add all the identity details, it opens up the personal information. Till then, you'll not be able to update personal information. Once you add personal information, it opens up job information. Once the job information is filled, you'll see compensation information. And once all of these details are updated, you'll see the submit button getting enabled. Okay, so let's go to identity details. Identity details, the first field that we have is the hire date of the employee. By default, hire date would be the current date or today's date. You can hire employees with the past date or the future date as well. Just have to go select the date here from January 1st. Next field is company. Go ahead, Shiva.
This fields filled by HR or the new employee.
Employee will not fill the data. How will employee hire themselves? It would be done by HR operations team.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Company, I have created my company. Just go and search for your company. This is my company. Okay. Event reason for hiring. So we have created hire event reason, right? So all of those event reasons which are associated with hire will show up here. It won't show transfers, it won't show promotions. It will only show the event reason which is associated with hiring. We have our hiring, Helen's hiring. This is what we have created, 8800. Okay. Only the event reasons which are associated with hire will show up here. Okay. And then after identity, you have name information. And all of these fields are coming from succession data model or manage business configuration. If you see some field which is mandatory and you want to make it optional, or optional field which you want to make it mandatory, this can be updated. Okay. So these fields can be aligned. First, it should be first name and then middle name and then last name. Somehow, if it is showing middle name, last name, and first name, this can be modified. We'll update that. Okay. First name, yeah.
These are the standard format under add new employee, right? Which is by default form created by SAP.
Yeah. Manage business configuration. Here you will see all of the portlets in the manage business configuration. Comp information, national ID information, personal information. I go to personal information. There was some message that was because some logic has been added here. So I'll just go update. Okay, so this is fine. RL director. Again, there's one more. I should not give any messages actually. That's because people have added some logics. Okay, so this is fine. Salutation. Have salutation here. Go select salutation. Name in alternate language if you want to maintain. Let's say you're hiring some employee in France or Germany or Spain, and you want to maintain the name in different language, you can use this. Otherwise, you can just delete it. Next is biographical information, which is about the date of birth details. So here you see biographical information. Person information is called biographical information. Okay. So biographical information usually you'll be having date of birth and country of birth. Okay. Date of birth and country of birth. So here somebody has added father name as mandatory. So I'll make it no, because this is not required. Date of birth is required, but not this one. Okay. Date of birth should be mandatory. You don't need all of these custom fields. Birth time is not required. Place of birth is also not required. Region of birth is also not required. Yeah, these are fine. Confirm. Okay, I'm just setting up for the next hire that we do. Country of birth and father name, currently it is mandatory, so I'll try to add. Country of birth is mandatory. I'll go add India. And father name, I'll put some test. Okay. Employee information, person ID will be automatically generated by system. Okay, and this ID is generated from company system and logo settings. There is a screen called company system and logo settings. If I go there, company system logo settings. Under company system and logo settings, you have the next person ID here. See the next employee ID assigned. So whatever number that we have here, we can change this number as per customer's requirement. They want to use 5 series or 6 series or 9 series or 8 series. One number they want, one sequence that if they want to use, we'll be using it here. We'll be updating it here. Now, the employee that we are going to hire, system will pick the ID from this one. This would be my employee ID. System will pick from there. If you want to have different person IDs for different departments or different locations, you can also do that, but we'll have to write a logic for that. Okay, we'll see those logics in the coming sessions. Username is mandatory field. Again, username can also be automated by the combination of first name and last name, or here it is mandatory and it is editable. So I can go and give the, it is RL000001. This is my username. Username is the ID with which user logs into the system. When I'm logging in, I will have to key in my ID and password, right? The ID is username. Now, sometimes the person ID would be updated as username. Now, the person ID and your username can be same. If you want to have the same ID used for username, you can also define that logic. Okay. Next is national ID information, which is country specific information. If you have the information, you can go and add. Now, country, go select country, India. National ID card, for India, we have PAN card and Aadhaar card. Let's say I want to add PAN card. National ID. Is this a primary? Yes, this is primary. You can add. You can also add one more if you want. Continue. When you click continue, system will validate if all of the mandatory fields are filled in identity information. Now all the fields are filled in identity information. Now we are in second step, which is personal information. There are some fields. Now all of this personal information here, if you go and see business, manage business configuration and succession data model, all the fields that you see in personal information. Now these fields are split into two sections, identity and personal information. This is only in hiring. But once we hire the employees, all of these fields will show up in only one section called personal information. Now we have field first name, last name, and then salutation, right? Rest of the fields, what you see here, will show up in the personal information. You have gender, you have marital status, preferred language, nationality. You go and see here, you'll find that information. You have gender, marital status. Okay. So whatever fields are enabled, all of these fields with enable yes will show up there. Okay. Nationality is there. Preferred language is there. Specially able, this is there. So all of these fields will show up here. And again, some of these fields are mandatory. Preferred language, can go and maintain preferred language. Okay. Gender, if you want, you can maintain. Nationality can also be maintained. Scroll down. It says married is also mandatory. Now this is not required actually. Let me go. Married is a custom field. Just delete all of the custom fields people have created. For now, I'll add, but these are all custom fields. And just delete them. Okay. Married, I'll just put test. If you have any documents, you can upload the document. while hiring. Okay. Any other fields which are required? This is self-marriage. I don't know what is this field. Test self-marriage. Separation date. Okay, so these are all custom fields which they have added. I've just removed them. Because they are mandatory fields, I'm just adding. Global information. Any country-specific information that you have for the employee, you can add the details here. Otherwise, you can just delete it. You have email information, have the employee's email, go and maintain. Say, I want to maintain email ID of the employee. Business, we'll just give some dummy email. Okay, is primary, yes. And then you have phone information. You have your phone information available, add phone information. Have address information. You have the address information, you can add address information. Primary emergency contact, dependents. All of this information, if you have, you can maintain. Otherwise, you just click on continue. Now, personal information is already filled. This is filled. Okay. Under job information, we have different sections in job information. Position details, organization information, your company, business unit, division, department shows up here. And then you have your job information, like grade of the employee, job code of the employee. So those details. And then you have time information as well. Okay. So let's fill the data. Because I have selected my company as Reliance Industries, system will filter only those positions which are available for hiring. Now you go to position, it shows up all of the positions here. See what positions do we see here? RL Director, President, General Manager, HR Manager, Interns, Senior President, Sales General Manager. So these are the available positions which can be used. If a position is set as to be hide, no, that position won't show up here. All of the positions with to be hide status, yes, will show up here. Okay. So first position, we'll select this. And once you select the position, system propagates the data. Company, business unit, division, department, location, time zone. So all of these details got updated here. From position, system propagated this data. Job information also, now you see here, supervisor is added. Why supervisor is added as Abdul Rahman? Because we have added the parent position as Rahman's position. For director, I've added the parent position as Rahman's position. So system has automatically updated the supervisor from parent position that we have selected while creating the position. Your job classification, job title, pay grade, regular, temporary, standard, weekly hours, full time. So all of these details got automatically updated. Any other fields which you feel are mandatory, you can go and add. Otherwise, you can just continue. So we have not configured any time information. I'm just leaving them blank. Employment details is all about the date related fields. The hire date and first date worked is mandatory here. First date worked is mostly same as your hire date. If the first date worked is different than hire date, maintain that. Otherwise, just keep that as it is. Continue. You have job relationship as well. This got auto updated. But if you want, you can also maintain business unit and division. Somebody has messed up the configuration. So that's why you're getting that message. Okay, let me go here. Let me check. One, after creating your business unit, divisions and department, if you have changed the configuration, if you have changed the association, configure object definition. If you have changed the association, then you'll get this kind of errors. People must have changed the configuration here. business unit. Okay, this is fine. Division. You don't have to add the custom fields. The customer will not give you to no requirement to add custom fields. Simply, it's a waste of time. See, these are all junk data which people have added. Should not have division, should not have business. And that's why it was giving that error. Okay. So this is fine. I'll do is I'll just remove business unit division for now. This is mandatory. Okay. Now move to compensation. After removing those junk association, it moved to compensation information. Comp information, these are all comp information related fields, and I don't see any field mandatory. I'll just move to pay components. You have compensation where you can go and select the pay components. Now add the pay components. Click on add pay component and you see our components that we have created. Basic salary, HRA, medical elements. Go select pay component, put some amount, currency, choose the currency. This can also be defaulted actually. Frequency is monthly. Okay. I've added one pay component. You want to add multiple pay components? Can add 88 HRA, which is 50% of basic. I'll select this. Monthly. Add one more component. Medical allowance. Minor monthly. Okay. Now, if you see your comparison range penetration will be calculated. Okay, so that's fine. If you have any other pay components, we have one-time payments and pay targets. If you have other components, you will see them here. Salary deduction, you see, salary deduction is showing up here in pay targets. And then if you have one-time payments, like we have created bonus, right? That bonus should show up here. You see the bonus. Bonus is showing up here. These are regular recurring components, and then your recurring payments and deductions and one-time payments. Once you have all of the details maintained, you go and click on submit. Now submit button is also enabled. You go click on submit. Cannot override the pay component value. 8808 Let me go and see manage organization pay. Depending on our configuration, pay component 8802. System is giving some error. Maybe we have given it as 40%. 8802. Sorry, what is this? 8802. So 8802 is at 15,000, right? 15,000. Okay. Frequency, we have put it as annual. And can override, we said no. I'll say yes here. Either we can go update it to 15,000 annual. Okay. Frequency of pay component. Okay. Yeah. Frequency is also set to annual. So I'll go and maintain it as 15,000. And frequency is annual. So I'll just go and add that. Okay. So this is fine. Submit. Effective date is more than 60 days. There is some business rule that is fine. This is a warning message. If you see this symbol, this is a warning message. For warning message, you can proceed. Now your employees hide here. Okay. You go click on the candidate, RIL director. Just go and search for some picture. Just add some picture to. Okay, now I go to RIL director here. upload profile picture. Can upload profile picture for this employee. Save. Okay. Now I have my employee. This is quick card, shows up some basic information about the employee. Okay. Name of the employee, username of the employee, and your job title, location, division, department, and then the local time of this employee. If you have maintained the email, it shows up the email as well. So scroll down, manager is Abdul Rahman. Now we have the personal information. First, it always starts with the personal information. You have the personal information maintained here. Okay. And then you have ID information, national ID information, which we have maintained. You have biographical information. You see the person ID 1033332. Where is this ID coming from? This is coming from 1033332. Now, if I go and refresh this page, the next number would be 10433333. You see 1043. And then you have job information or employment information. You'll see job information of the employee. And then you have comp information of the employee. This is 36 lakhs. Why 36 lakhs? You go check here because we have put the basic salary as 2 lakhs, right? 2 lakhs into 12, 24 lakhs. HRA 50% of it, 12 lakhs. And medical allowance is 15,000, totaling to 3 lakh, 36 lakhs, 15,000. But this employee's pay range, you see here comparison range penetration got auto updated. This is coming from the pay range R5. As per this company, as per this employee's geo zone, pay grade and legal entity, the range is R5. Okay. The minimum pay is 40 lakhs and maximum pay is 50 lakhs. But this employee is getting paid less than what is supposed to be, right? So that's why it is showing as 38. I'll just go here, edit. Okay, I think the permission issue. And that's fine. We'll maintain that, those pay components. I'll quickly try to hire one more employee. Any doubts here?
No.
Sorry?
All
All good? I'll quickly hire one more employee. Company, Reliance Industries, 8800, which is hiring. Last name, President. See, earlier we had that message coming up, right? Now it is not coming because we have removed that. Salutation. Okay, we don't need alternate language. Country of birth. Date of birth. Because we have made the date of birth field mandatory. Okay, username RIL002. If you want, you can maintain national ID. Otherwise, you can leave. Personal information also here. Preferred language, English US or English UK, whatever it is. National ID. Don't need global information. Address. Continue. All of this information can be updated by employee also. Now I go to position, I will not see director position because that's already filled. That is already filled. We have only these positions now. Okay, we'll choose this one, and see if there are any mandatory fields. Okay, continue. See, those errors are not popping up now because we have already corrected. Basic salary, HRA. Okay, submit. And the next employee is also hide. If I go to org chat and look at my positions, I'll directly go to position org chat. Now see, we have hired an employee on this position, right? So this employee is occupying this position and this employee is occupying this position. Now to be hired status is set to no. That's why these positions, the icon is not showing up. The other positions we can see to be hired status. This is ready for hiring, but not this one because this position we have already filled. Okay. So we'll stop it here for today. You try to hire some employees for tomorrow. We'll see if you face any issues. Okay. So the next employees, next employee, if I go to this employee, check this employee. What would be the ID? 1043. And you'll find the personal information, biographical information, you'll find that information, 1043. Next person would be 103334. Okay. Okay then.
Have you know, just to inform you, I tried, but finally I couldn't able to create company structure.
You forget about company structure. You don't worry about company structure.
Okay.
It is not not mandatory to hire employees. That is not showstopper for you.
Okay, then
You
I
have
tried
your
to,
objects ready.
yes. Then I tried to do the pay grade, but I couldn't find a pay grade from instance.
Why
from
did
the
you not
system.
ask this question before start of the session? I have asked you
No
people
worries,
if you have any.
you can do show tomorrow. I just let you to finish the class. That's why I didn't ask.
No. Class, we'll start with your doubts and then we'll continue with the session.
Yes, then I will ask to noise.
Yeah. Pay grade, you say pay grade is not available.
Yes.
Yeah. So where should we check? Did you check?
I checked manage data. But
Manage data. Where is pay grade? Pay grade is a foundation object. You should check in manage organization pay and job structure.
I did the same. I forget to say that.
Okay.
Manage
So
data.
did you check corporate data model?
No.
Then check. You have to do your initial analysis. If you still cannot find it, I'll help you out.
Okay.
Okay. Whatever you know that the object is defined in corporate data model. Yes or no? If some field is not showing up, or if some object is not showing up, if some object's label is different, so we can go and always check in corporate data model. If it is a foundation object. If it is a MDA foundation object, generic object, you can go and check in configure object definition. Okay. So make a habit of that. Try to analyze whatever that you can. If it is beyond your reach, then I'll definitely help you out. You try to spend some time, that's good for you.
Okay, sure. Then I also couldn't able to create location group because there is some mandatory data, country, capital, then hub start date, which is capital. There is no capital option, money, drop down, there is nothing. So I couldn't fill those.
So how can we fix that? Going to
Yes.
corporate data model and then delete all of those custom fields or the fields which are mandatory. You can make it optional. Okay. Yeah. Because you have not practiced enough, people are giving you that work. Okay. Thank you. We'll catch up tomorrow. Try to fix that. Otherwise, we'll see that in tomorrow's session.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.